Hey everybody, Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist Laurel Blanchard here with your Wednesday evening Fox 35 Weather Plus. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we are only on we are only on Facebook, we are only on YouTube. Fox Local currently is covering the current hatching of the Crew 11 mission that is coming home from the ISS. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up later on in the show, but I'm watching the live stream over here, and it currently looks like all 4 members of Crew 11 are in their Dragon capsule. They're going to be closing the hatch to that capsule within the next probably half hour or so, and then they are supposed to be undocking from the International Space Station sometime between 4, 5, and 6 p.m. So somewhere between 4:30 and 5:30, I believe, is the current time that they are going to be undocking from the ISS for an eventual splashdown coming up in California, or off the coast of California, coming up at about 3:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. In Good Day Orlando, we'll have that coming up in a little bit. So, first off, how is everyone? Write in the comments. Again, we are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. Big question of the day, and I think this goes without saying, are you ready for a cold snap? And if you don't, all of you don't know, I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. When I moved down to Florida, I got rid of all my heavy sweaters, and now I'm completely regretting it. So, are you ready for the cold snap? Coming up within the next couple of minutes, not only are we going to be taking you county by county to figure out when the worst of the cold is really going to set in, but we'll really map out when you can feel or possibly see that frostiness on the ground as you're heading out the door Friday morning. So just a big heads up for that. It is going to be chilly here in Florida, and this is probably the coldest air that we felt in about 4 years, and we'll kind of get into the stats about that coming up in a little bit. But let's get right into business. Let's talk about that cold, and let us know what you think of the cold, how you kind of feel about the cold coming into Central Florida. Again, we are live on YouTube, we are live on Facebook, and if you would like to see the current happenings with NASA Crew 11 coming home, you can head on over to Fox Local, or you can head to our Fox 35 website. We are also streaming it there as well. So breaking down what we can expect for us here in Florida over the next couple of days, it is going to be cold, my friends, so I hope you are ready for that. So let's kind of get into the timing and what we can expect, taking a look at Friday. And we'll talk a little bit more also as well about kind of what we are seeing out there at the moment. So let's kind of just jump right in to the current analysis of a more of a wide end radar. We're not really seeing too much happening here across Orlando, but we're starting to see that cold front move through, and it's going to be bringing in a couple of scattered showers as we take a look a little bit later on. So we'll start off there first. So let's kind of bring that up. Here is the current national radar. So here's where we can see that frontal boundary slowly starting to get pulled through Central Florida, and that's why we're going to be seeing some scattered showers as we head through the overnight tonight. Backing out quite a bit. So here's our low pressure system that we have right here. This is what's going to be generating a lot of snow, lots of lake effect snow for Chicago, all the way across Michigan, and even taking a look at parts of New York as this low pressure system kind of scoots over areas across Buffalo and over to New England as we head through the next couple of days. So here we kind of have 2 back-to-back cold fronts that are going to be moving through. Here's this first one right here, the one kind of lacing all the way from the Gulf to about Richmond, and I forgot I have a pen right here. So here is cold front number 1, and here's kind of cold front number 2. So we're going to be seeing kind of back-to-back 1-2 punches of this cold, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we have cold air that's going to be moving in here, and this will be affecting us as we head into Friday. And then we have another cold snap also back here, and that's what's going to be moving in as we head into the back half of the weekend. So get ready for some chilly weather. It's going to be on the way, but kind of a 1-2 punch when it does come to those cold snaps that we're going to be expecting. So that's kind of what we're seeing over the next couple of days, and that's kind of like the big picture of what we can see across the country right now. Good news is we do take a little bit of a closer look. Here is our Melbourne radar. Let's back out just a little bit. And let's put this to the past 30 minutes and slow this radar down just a little bit as well. We're not seeing any lightning. We're seeing a couple spikes. Let's see if we can find any. We're not even seeing anything in these little couplets that we have here. Just these little clusters of storms that are kind of making their way over Palm Coast right now. Daytona Beach, not even seeing any rain at the moment. And even as we take a look over Palm Coast, we're probably seeing a good amount of that rain just starting to make its way off the coastline. But also, let's check our Ocala camera in a second once we get out of here, see if there's any rain that's happening over there. But as of right now, we're slowly going to start to see this make its way southward and towards Orlando, kind of almost following down Florida Turnpike. We'll slowly start to see this frontal boundary get pushed ever so slightly down to the southeast, most likely bringing in a couple of scattered showers as we take a look at Orlando as we head through the next couple of hours. So this event really lasting through the rest of this afternoon into this evening and into the overnight tonight. We're going to be expecting those showers to finally start to push out after then. But here's our current radar, backing up quite a bit. We're seeing a good amount of lightning way offshore. That is not a problem to us though. And of course, we're going to be mainly focusing in on the cold air. So if you haven't already, write in the comments, are you ready for the cold for sure? I can tell you right now, I am not. I am not excited for temperatures that are going to be at freezing here in Orlando. So without further ado, let's just rip the Band-Aid off right now and let's talk about the cold. So first and foremost, we are calling for Friday a Fox 35 Storm Team Alert Day, and that is for this Friday, and this is mainly for those freezing temperatures that are going to be occurring areas north of I-4. And we'll talk about this county by county coming up in a little bit. But major cold is on the way coming up this Friday. Freezing temperatures north of I-4, so areas especially across Marion, Alachua, Flagler, Volusia, Seminole counties. Those areas are most likely going to be seeing those freezing temperatures. Lake County, Dixie, Levy, Gilchrist County, you're also in that group as well. So that's what we're going to be focusing in on. And again, let us know if you have any tips for the cold. One of my favorite tips is just making sure if you are going to be expecting ice, make sure everything's salted. Frost especially can be slippery for sure. And just make sure, again, you're just being extremely careful because especially with the wind, things are going to be feeling much, much colder. So if you do have any cold tips, especially for folks that have just moved to Florida, haven't necessarily experienced a Florida cold snap, write those in the comments as well. All right, so let's kind of get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty. So this is the coldest air that we've had in 4 years. Ignore that transition, that I need to fix, but the coldest air in 4 years. The last time that we had air that is this cold that's moving into Central Florida as we head through the next couple of days was December 25th, 2022, and that was a low of 30 degrees, and we're most likely here in Orlando are going to be seeing those temperatures between 33 and 35 degrees. Areas across Ocala, areas across Gainesville, you're going to be feeling those temperatures even colder. So that's just a heads up. Last time we saw this temperature was 4 years ago, so it is quite the cold snap of what we've been feeling compared to the beautiful warm temperatures that what we saw last week. Like, this is a total 180 from what we can feel temperature wise. So to get into a little bit more detail, we're going to be expecting freezing temperatures in areas north of I-4, and you can already see those freeze watches in effect for areas basically across all of the viewing areas. So we here at Fox 35, we cover Gilchrist, Levy, Dixie counties, as well as Marion and Alachua counties, Gainesville, Ocala, the Villages, over towards Sumter, Lake counties, Flagler County, Volusia County, Brevard, Orange, parts of Polk, especially areas north of I-4. We cover that just a little bit of Polk, as well as Osceola and Brevard. And so the only areas that currently are not under this freeze watch, and freeze watch is temperatures that are going to be near freezing within the next 48 hours. Once we get into like that 24, 36 hour range, most likely a lot of these areas, especially Levy, Dixie, Gilchrist counties, especially most likely Marion, Alachua counties, even Flagler, and I would even say far parts of Volusia are probably going to be under a freeze warning, which means that those temperatures are going to be either at or below freezing, most likely within the next 24 hours. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets issued tomorrow morning when you watch Jessica and Brooks tomorrow. So that's really what we're watching right now is the basically the leading up to when the cold is going to be here. That's what the kind of steps are. So freeze watch happening right now. Temperatures are not expected to be near freezing anywhere along the inlets of Brevard County, but now parts of Volusia County. Daytona Beach isn't in there, but inland Volusia Beach, yes, but the outlets of Volusia Beach, most likely not, is what we're going to be seeing for Daytona Beach to hit freezing. But most of the area is going to be either at or near freezing as we take a look at your Friday morning. So again, to kind of just pinpoint, if you're north of I-4, most likely you are going to be seeing those temperatures either at, near, or below freezing. And that's something that why we're kind of stressing, just to make sure you are being careful with the cold for sure. Also taking a look, wind chills are going to be everywhere. That wind is going to be blowing. After this cold front moves through, there is Arctic air that's just going to be surging into the region. And then we also have a little bit of a high pressure system that's also going to be building in. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's also going to be just funneling in that much cooler air, making those gusty winds again on the gusty side. So we're going to be seeing those wind chills pretty much everywhere. And this is what's going to be making temperatures feel as if they're 24 to 32 degrees as you're heading out the door Friday morning. And then finally, the coldest temperatures we have seen since basically December of 2022. This is a historic cold snap, and we're going to be seeing another cold snap as we take a look ahead to Friday. So we talked about the freeze watch. Now let's actually put some numbers to all this now that we kind of have like a little bit of an explanation. So daybreak temperatures Friday morning. This is as that colder air is really settling in. 27 degrees, it's going to read. That's what this temperature is going to be on the thermometer Friday morning. Gainesville, Ocala, Villages are going to be all in the upper 20s. Same with DeLand, Leesburg, Palm Coast flirting with freezing. So they're just under the line of freezing. Again, freezing 32 degrees. And then Daytona Beach most likely going to be dancing right along that freezing line. Sanford as well. But again, you can kind of see that clear line. Here's the I-4 corridor right here. And you can see those areas, especially even Claremont and Bushnell, most likely just going to be flirting with that freezing line. And then areas south of I-4, they're either going to be at or above freezing. So that's kind of the line that we're really using as we head through the next couple of days. So just a heads up for that. So let's add the wind onto this. This is what the thermometer is going to be reading, but now as we add that wind factor to everything, everywhere is going to be feeling like the 20s. So feeling like the low and mid 20s in Gainesville, Ocala, Palm Coast, Daytona Beach, feeling like upper 20s in Orlando, St. Cloud, Titusville. It is going to be a cold, cold morning on Friday, no matter how you slice or dice it. So now let's kind of get into the specifics county by county. I know a lot of folks are probably asking where I live, what's the temperature going to be? We'll take a look at that in just a few minutes. So that's something that we're really going to be focusing on, especially because, again, if you're north of the I-4 corridor, it is really going to be on the chilly side for sure. You are going to be feeling the coldest temperatures out of the entire DMA region that we have here in Central Florida and the entire region that we cover. So we're mainly going to be focusing in on areas north of I-4, and then we'll kind of more focus in on Orange County as we take a look a little bit later on. But these areas that we're going to be covering within the next couple of minutes are for sure going to be feeling those at or below freezing temperatures without even the wind chill. So that's something that we're going to be focusing in on next. So just bear with me right here, just editing one thing before we show this off. And that's basically what we're seeing. So we're not going to be covering all counties at the moment, but you'll get the gist of where we're going to be feeling the coldest temperatures coming up within the next couple of minutes. All right, so let's get into our county by county map. And again, these are the temperatures of what we're going to be feeling the coldest temperatures with. This is not everywhere, but we're going to be covering the majority of the people who are most likely going to be under those freeze warnings as we take a look at your Friday morning. So let's start off. This is Dixie, Gilchrist, Levy, Alachua counties. So anywhere across Alachua, Gainesville, Trenton, Chiefland, Horseshoe Beach, Cross City, and Cedar Key. If you live in any of those areas, the coldest air is going to be on Friday morning. The main time frame is about 6 to 7 hours. These areas especially are going to be feeling those freezing temperatures for longer. And then most likely from 2 to 8 a.m. is going to be the time where you're going to be in that freezing time frame. And again, you're probably going to be seeing those temperatures drop into the upper 20s. Those wind chills are going to be making those temperatures feel like the low 20s. So this is our Fox 51 counties. Alachua, Gainesville, Trenton, Chiefland, Cross City, Horseshoe Beach, Cedar Key. If you're in any of those areas, it's going to be cold, and it's going to be cold for basically the majority of your Friday morning. So that's kind of what we're seeing there. Now taking a look, this is also, and I know this is going to say storm impacts, but it's cold impacts for Marion, Lake, and Sumter counties. So this is Ocala, the Villages, Claremont, even taking a look towards Mount Dora, Winter Garden as well. Friday morning, 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. Again, these are part of the areas that are going to be feeling that freezing temperatures for a little bit longer of a period. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 20s, wind chills, bringing those upper 20s down into the low 20s for your Friday morning. So it is going to be chilly for sure. These areas especially, Marion, Lake, Sumter, as well as Dixie, Gilchrist, Levy, and Alachua counties, most likely going to be seeing some patchy frost out there as we take a look at your Friday morning as well. So just a big heads up blanket statement that is going to be the coldest in these areas for the longest time, most likely seeing some patchy frost in these areas as well. So just be careful if you are planning on heading out on the roads Friday morning. Be careful. Some of those roads may be a little bit slick because of that frost. So just make sure you're taking it very slow as you're headed out the door Friday morning. All right, let's bring it a little bit closer to Orlando. Let's focus in on Flagler, Seminole, and Volusia counties. These are, again, the areas that are going to be at or below freezing temperature-wise as we take a look for your Friday morning. Areas in Orange County, Brevard County, even down towards Polk and Osceola County. These areas are going to be above freezing, so we're not really too focused on that right now. Coldest air is going to be on Friday morning if you're in Flagler, Volusia, or Seminole counties. Duration, about 4 hours, so a little bit less than the counties that we just covered. But again, temperatures are going to be in the upper 20s. Some areas may crack into the low 30s, but wind chill lows are going to be in the 20s still, basically across the board. But these counties are most likely going to be feeling the coldest temperatures over the next 24 hours, especially as we take a look at your Friday morning. So that's what we're seeing there. Okay, so now let's get into the timing. Let's start off with that rain that we're seeing out there right now. For the Orlando rain chances, some areas are already starting to see those scattered showers out there at the moment. Again, here's kind of a look at our current radar of what we can see right here. This is our Melbourne radar. You can see some of those scattered showers making their way down I-75. Let's take a look, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, our Ocala camera. Of course, this is the one moment that I'm not going to be able to find it quickly. There we go. Yeah, it does look like we're seeing some scattered showers out there right now. 59 degrees as we take a look over Ocala. These areas, especially Ocala, as well as Gainesville, you're going to be feeling the chill first as we take a look through tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon. So that's the scattered shower chance that we're seeing right now. So this entire line is going to just continue to slowly make its way southeast, most likely hitting the Villages, Orlando, as we head into the next 2.5 hours. So Villages starting to get in on that rain. Orlando, it's going to slowly make its way down Florida Turnpike and make its way into Orlando, most likely within the next 2 hours or so. So that's what we're seeing for rain through the rest of the evening here in Orlando over the next 12 hours, keeping that 40% chance of rain, maybe drifting down as we take a look later on tonight. But after this rain pushes out, the cold air is moving in. But now that we're still on the topic of rain, let's actually take a look at how much rain we're going to get because it is so dry out there. It's not going to be a huge rain event. It's going to be enough to give you a little bit of a drink of water, but it is definitely, any rain is good rain at this point. So we're lucky to even have the chance of seeing at least just a little bit of rain here across the region. So now let's talk about the cold. Let's take you hour by hour of what we can expect through our map right here. We're starting to see those scattered showers move through right now. We're going to continue to see some of those scattered showers as we head through the overnight tonight, maybe early tomorrow morning as well. And then we see our first shot of cold air. So this is Thursday evening is when that rain finally starts to push out. We're going to see some of that rain continuing tomorrow associated with that cold front. And then we see this first shot of rain right here. And I mentioned at the beginning of this stream that we're going to see this high pressure system move in. This is allowing this air to further funnel into the region. This is what's going to create those clear and cold conditions that are just going to make those temperatures feel even colder as we take a look at your Friday morning. So this is Friday at 6 a.m. Cold air is flooding into central Florida. We have high pressure right here, and this is quite literally taking this Arctic air that is creating snow in Chicago and across the upper Midwest and funneling this frigid air into central Florida, and that is why our temperatures are going to be getting so cold as we take a look at Friday. Now, kind of fast forwarding through time a little bit, again, we'll take it slow. We have this secondary cold front that's going to be moving through, taking a look at Saturday. And so here is a big picture. We're going to be seeing some wintry weather across the Appalachian Mountains, continuing to see another round of rain, taking a look across Georgia. But I'll show you this. So this is the second round of cold air that we're going to be feeling. But you can see as this cold front moves through, we get another shot of that Arctic air as this low pressure system kind of starts to develop, further funneling in a little bit of that colder air once again here into Orlando. And that is what could create the possibility of maybe a little bit of accumulation of snow. Taking a look across Savannah, most likely will not be making its way into Florida, but there is the possibility and shot where we could be seeing some snow or wintry precipitation. Taking a look right across parts of North Carolina, South Carolina, and maybe as far south as Georgia. So something that we're watching. It is not set in stone quite yet by any means, but this is just another cold snap. So again, you can see, just like we saw with that high pressure system, all of this cold Arctic air, as we see with this rain that's going to be moving through Orlando as we take a look at Sunday. This is Sunday 2 p.m. We are all rain. It's not going to be getting cold enough that we're going to be seeing any wintry precipitation until after the rain is all moved out, and we just have this secondary blast of cold air moving in as we take a look at the start of the work week. So this is Monday 6 a.m. Where I'll show you your 7-day forecast in a second, but it is going to be a chilly end of the work week and a chilly start to the work week. So I hope everyone is prepared for that, because it is definitely going to be chilly out there for sure. And it is 3:53. We are almost out of time for this, but again, here's just a map to kind of show you where we're expecting the coldest temperatures. So a little bit of meteorology for everybody. This is what we call the freeze line. So as we take a look at models, there are different layers of the atmosphere, and there is one layer that we use, this is the 500 millibar layer, where we use that really defines what the most accurate temperature is going to be as we take a look at the surface. So usually if there's freezing just above the surface, most likely at the surface it is either freezing or just below freezing. So this is the freeze line. So where you can see this teal line right here, that is where it's going to be 32 degrees. If you're in this purple area, you're most likely going to be seeing the 20s taking a look at your Friday morning. If you're closer to that 32 degree line, you're most likely going to be in the low 30s. And then if you're still in the white, you're going to be above 32 degrees. That is probably the simplest way that we can kind of expect where we're going to be seeing the coldest temperatures as we take a look into Friday morning. So if you're in that dark purple area right here, heads up, it's going to be chilly for sure. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day forecast, and while we do that, I will also be checking the comments to see if anyone has said hi. But I think a lot of folks were just listening to me talk about what the cold is going to be like. So here is your 7-day forecast. Again, storm team alert day for your Friday. It is going to be cold for sure. So I hope you definitely have the warmer jacket, warmer sweaters, because it will be cold, absolutely, especially as that colder air really starts to stream in. That's what's really going to create those very chilly conditions. So Thursday, seeing a 40% chance of rain. Those are going to be those scattered showers continuing with the system that we have moving through currently. Cold temperatures for your Friday. Saturday, we rebound back a little bit, and then we are right back in it as we take a look at Monday as we see another cold front moves through, once again bringing us in those breezy conditions. Taking a look at Sunday, slowly starting to rebound back as we take a look ahead to next Wednesday. Let's take a look at the comments. Somebody writing in on YouTube just saying hello. I'm not really seeing anybody hop in on Facebook, but that is pretty much the big deep dive into not only the cold that we're going to be expecting over the next couple of days, but kind of the very quick rebound and then the very quick fall back down to very chilly temperatures as we take a look ahead through the next couple of days. Temperatures especially taking a look. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday is 70 degrees. Normal average high for this time of year, 72, 71 degrees. So we are finally going to be back into those average temperatures. Taking a look at the start of the weekend, we have 1 day of average normal temperatures, the perfect 70-degree afternoon, and then we fall right back down into those below average temperatures. Taking a look ahead to Tuesday, slow rebound as we take a look ahead into next week. So we'll slowly start to ride back up towards average. Taking a look ahead to next weekend, but again, it's just going to be on this weather roller coaster quite literally through the rest of January. And it might be a good thing because I know a lot of kids, especially for schools, have Martin Luther King Day off, and that is on Monday, so it might be the best time to honestly just stay home, maybe get the house back together after the holidays. I know I need to, but definitely it might be a better day to just spend inside if you do have the chance on Monday, just to kind of relax, enjoy the warm inside the house, or hey, if you just think it's perfect enough to go outside, you do you. But that's what we're going to be seeing. That is the timing of the cold. And again, this is cold that we haven't seen for about 4 years. So I hope you're ready, folks. Make sure you have the sweaters, jackets ready, because you will absolutely need them. Taking a look ahead to your Friday morning. All right, folks, that is all the time we have right now. Thank you all so much for joining in, and definitely let us know if you have any questions. We will be back here talking about the cold once again, same time, same place tomorrow. We will see you then. Have a great night.